I'm insane. What could I say?
Insane.
Insane. Completely insane. We are just that kind of crazy, weird guys. Welcome back, everybody, to the Toddcast. NDC presents It Is Crazy. I am John, one of your hosts, who has been here a long time, and it's a little crazy. I've been having a couple crazy weeks, and I apologize for all the delays. Most of them were my fault. So thank you, Thursday Warriors, for hanging out. I got some cool stuff I'll talk to you guys a little bit about later once we get a couple more people in the feed.
And I'm Timely Tim. Pass me the ball. Pass me the rock. I'll shoot it. I'll score. Timely Tim is my name.
Timely Tim.
I played in a church league basketball game in high school. I went to watch my brother, and they were short a player, and they drove like 2 hours for this. And it was the science teacher who was very religious. And they're like, do you want to play? And I'm like, I suck bad. And I'm like, sure, I'll play. And we were losing by 3, and I hit a shot at the buzzer and tied it.
Nice.
And he started calling me Timely Tim. And then we lost by like 15 in overtime, and I got dunked on by like a 6'8" white dude. So I kind of wish I didn't hit that shot.
Still cool though. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, and I got
to call you that every time you're on time for work.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're rarely ever late, so I guess I could call you Timely Tim. Make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe. Make sure you guys comment tonight, because that will be a very important thing for this week's show, which I will again tell you about a little later. So while we wait on everybody to start commenting and saying hellos, I will do some NDC housekeeping, I guess. So this weekend coming up, we have the warehouse sale. So there's like, I don't know, 400,000 comics in this thing this year for this sale. It's very large. It's not sorted, really. There are some chunks that are a little bit, but it's 12 to 7 on Saturday. And then Todd said he'd go in early on Sunday. So it's 10 to 5 now.
Nice.
How many people are going to be there from 10 to 12 because no one knew about it? We'll see. But you know what? Go ahead and hang out. If you got your golden ticket, you can get in tomorrow from 12 to 7, I believe.
Excellent.
So that's a lot of fun. Then we have coming up. Give me 1 second. I have screenshots because they're fun to do. Boom. So the 20th and 21st, we have the Hunker Down for the Holidays sale. Both days, Saturday and Sunday, 10% off all graphic novels, all display books, all display case books. 30% off a regular back issue. Now, if you get a 50-50, you're still going to get the 50% that does not combine. It is 30% off a regular green fronted back issue bin box, or you get the 50-50. It's not this. It doesn't double. Sorry. Half off dollar books, and exclusions may apply per store. So make sure you check that out. Everybody's going to have a little bit of different stuff. Mostly the like sealed product stuff we have already on sale is pretty much that. For local comic shop day, which is the day before Thanksgiving this year, we're not doing any sales, but we will have pending all the craziness going on at Diamond right now, all the local comic shop day books for it. Then Blackest Friday, 20% off when you spend $50 more on a qualifying purchase. Half off dollar books, exclusions may apply. What does this mean? $20, or you have to spend $50 on stuff that is not dollar books, not stuff that is excluded from the sale, and you have to hit $50 pre-tax. So if you buy 5 pop vinyls at regular price, that's going to be over $50. You get 20% off everything, everything that qualifies. So check that out. It's going to be a good time. All these sales will be up on our website tomorrow afternoon. Make sure you guys check them out. And other than that, I think that's all we have going on till the end of the year. I know we're going to be at the Homestead Parade down on the first Saturday of December, handing out some flyers and hanging out with cosplayers, riding around in his Scooby van.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm riding the Scooby van.
Well, if you're not doing anything the first Saturday of December and you want to go ride,
you guys can literally like tie my hands behind my back and then like pretend like you're ripping a mask off my head. Like you're like, I'll get like baggy
like
clothes.
You're demasking you as the as the villain. Like
yes.
Who could be the Phantom of Kennywood Park? Oh, yes. It's Tim.
I will 100% do that.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. But then that same weekend we're gonna be over at Warren Comic-Con. Make sure you guys check out that. Stan Bush, who did the song The Touch and Dare from the Transformers movie, is gonna be there. We're gonna have just a table for the convention there, so we're just gonna be handing out convention information and have people sign up for our email list. Speaking of the convention, next week, no later than Thanksgiving, I will have the tentative guest list on the website. I just confirmed a bunch of guys this week and last weekend that I forgot to tell Tim about before we started the show, so he's probably going to want to know after the show.
I can just be like, whoa, this is crazy. I knew all about this all along. I can play along. Unless
you want to do a quick guessing game of which Pittsburgh guys. How about that? We'll focus on just the Pittsburgh guys.
Okay.
Which Pittsburgh guys do you think I have confirmed so far? And I'll tell you if you're right or wrong.
Ed.
Not confirmed.
Jim.
Out of the country.
What?
He's like, I think he's going to Japan that weekend or something, I think.
Tom.
Not confirmed.
Marvin.
Confirmed.
Sora.
Confirmed.
Me.
Confirmed.
Yes. I made it, babe.
Come on, man. You haven't even hit some of the other ones.
I don't know.
Oh, Ron. Boom. Ron Friends. Good job, Ron. Yes, Ron Friends. Confirmed. Who else?
That's an easy guess for him.
Come on.
They share a name.
Scott McDaniel, not confirmed. Black box pending.
Ooh.
So, yeah. Come on.
I forgot to pull up the chat here.
There's some good ones.
Good job. Ron says
just gonna play this game with Ron.
Name. Yeah. Just he said Declan's coming.
Hey Ron, you want to sponsor Declan's flight, and then I'll totally do that.
We need to figure out what that costs.
Not cheap. Robert Hack, tentative. Good guess, Dan. Tentative
there.
Based on it's mostly based on like how busy he's gonna be with the Sabrina stuff. So
okay. I think he'll be there.
He gave me a hard tentative, so it's like count him in unless he says no later. So come on, there's so many more. Come on. There's at least two more that you guys should know that are already coming. That I have confirmed.
Oh boy. I want to get this right. I really want to win that car.
Door one, door two. Play Plinko or something.
Yeah. Oh my god. That's my dream game is to play Plinko. Play Plinko. Yeah, there we go. I said it right. I love to play Plinko.
One of them, I have reviewed his Marvel book in the last year on the show.
Oh God! I was supposed to listen when you were reviewing. I thought we were just doing our thing.
I usually go pee when you're doing yours. I mean,
I can't think.
Come on, guys.
I'm bad at being put on the spot. Oh boy!
All right, come on.
I'll give
you guys 30 more seconds.
I think, even though it's not confirmed, I think Ed will be there.
I think Ed will be there once he sees the other people that are not from Pittsburgh that I'm probably going to have there. So
his graphic novel is doing really well. So
and he just did a signing down at Phantom. It's a good time.
Yeah, if you haven't got your copy yet, go get. We still got a couple left, at least at the Waterfront store. I know we have a couple left. I think maybe 3.
All right, we ordered a ton of extra of that, by the way. So cool. If anyone needs them, they're in Elwood. Let me know. Cool. Or they might be in Cranberry. I think they're in Elwood though. Anyway, all right. So your time has run out. Pat Olive, right?
Yeah.
How hard was that? Duh.
Don.
Oh, Don Simpson's also confirmed. But the other one that I've reviewed his books for, Dave Wachter.
Oh, nice,
dude! Come on,
I know.
Iron Fist. He's doing a Star Wars High Republic book.
Yeah. When he still is vinyl, he did vinyl, right?
No. You're thinking of Doug Wagner.
Oh, I thought you said
Dave
Doug
Wachter.
Wagner.
No.
Okay. Well, then that was way off.
Yeah. He did Iron Fist, Heart of the Dragon. Okay. He did a Star Wars High Republic book that's out right now.
Oh. I didn't know the guy that did Heart of the Dragon was from here.
Yeah. Well, he's a transplant, but he lives here now. He's originally from Cleveland. I don't hold it against him.
I won't either.
But he also did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and did Jennica. He did the Jennica appearance issue.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
that's some pretty big stuff.
Yeah. He did some Godzilla work. And he's done a lot of other cool stuff. His art is phenomenal. I love Dave. He's a super, super nice dude. All right. Now that we've talked enough creators and people have caught up, I think we're going to start with some comics. Yeah?
Yeah.
So you have one extra than me, so I'm going to let you go first.
Oh, I thought you did 4 also.
I did 4. I thought you said maybe a 5th one.
No, I sent you a 4th one, I think.
Okay. Well, then I'll go first.
To even it out.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'll go first.
I tried to pick from, I don't know if you did, but I tried to pick from a couple from the last 3 weeks since we really haven't done,
That's what I did.
Cool. Sweet.
So my first book is Dead Box #1 from Vault Comics. This is...
Tell me it's what I think it is.
So the Dead Box is like a red box in a shitty town. And the movies, like no one's ever heard of them at all. And it kind of bounces back and forth between the story of the movie and this girl who takes care of her dad. And it kind of like the movie ends up being called The Vanishing Man, and her dad is like almost dead. So it's like comparatively running similar story to her life. So it's very Twilight Zone-y. For me, it kind of felt like a Twilight Zone or what the hell's the name of that book? Electric Black kind of vibe.
Okay, yeah.
Or like Creep Show almost. And not quite if the ring in a red box had a baby, but because like the box isn't eating people. It's just there's no video store. There's the internet there sucks so bad that there's no streaming services. So they only have like this red box, and it's like the weirdest red box ever. And I really love that whole idea as a premise for it. I'm really curious to see how the rest of it goes on, but it was very very creepy and very good. Like it was right up my alley of
Nice.
like horror stuff. So definitely check it out, guys, if you like like Twilight Zone-ish stuff. It's not like gory, it's a little bit sci-fi, but it's mostly like it's like not quite as intense as like Black Mirror, for instance, but it is still pretty freaking weird. I do enjoy it quite a bit. So
brought to you by Schweppes ginger ale. Does your stomach hurt, but you still want soda? Schweppes. All right, next.
And Captain Canuck.
There is only one.
Holds all the coffee.
The true Canadian superhero.
Right. He had my coffee and then he apologized. So, all right. Your first book.
Yes, so this is Venom. This is the new Venom series by Al Ewing, and it looks like it was co-written by Ram V, who I don't know.
You should, because he hangs out with
I know
Marvin.
that he's. Oh, does he?
Pretty sure.
Well, that's pretty awesome. So right off the bat, I'll just say I noticed one thing. So we had Joe Bennett, who was doing the Hulk stuff with Al Ewing, and now obviously because he's a jerk and he sucks, like he's not coming back. And I feel like picking Brian to be the artist was like, who can I get that has a similar kind of like style? And for the most part, I didn't like any of Brian Hitch's stuff that he did at DC. Him drawing Superman just doesn't look right to me. So
really? I thought he did all right.
Yeah. But so this opens up. We're gonna follow two characters. It looks like we're gonna follow Dylan, who is now the Venom on Earth, and then we're gonna follow Eddie, who is like the King in Black. And this opens up with basically what happens at the end of the book. There's a big fight with Venom and these people who are trying to get him. And Venom just kind of right off the bat says, I did the one thing that my dad told me not to, and that was don't bond with the symbiote. From there, it kicks off into space, and you see Eddie flying around with a couple symbiotes. And there's some really cool things that are introduced in. You would think after reading Donny Cates' run, how could anybody come up with anything unique for Venom? And they did come up with a couple things. So right off the bat, he's controlling these symbiotes. They're flying with him. They're checking on people in space, different missions, trying to keep the peace in space and throughout the galaxy. Kind of like if the Guardians of the Galaxy were all symbiotes.
I say it's Venom Space Knight again.
Yeah,
but
yeah, sort of. But like this time it's
with less suck.
with less suck. At least so far. The thing that's cool is Eddie can transfer his consciousness into any one of those symbiotes. So if he wants to see what's going on, he can basically like pilot those symbiotes and do what he wants. And I thought that was cool. But something weird happens when they're investigating this shipwreck, and one of the symbiotes who finds all the people that were trying to escape kills everybody. He kills all the passengers in the escape pod, and his eyes are red. And then he gives Eddie this kind of like warning saying like, you know, go be with your son, do the things that you think that, you know, are going to make you happy because like your time's coming to an end. And then he just like kind of Thanos snap, like fades away into dust. I'll tell you about this part in a second, but so Eddie, it switches back to Dylan back on Earth. He's having some trouble in school because he's very angry. You know, he's bonded with this, or has, you know, the Venom symbiote. So he's feeling that rage, and he's beating kids up in school and living by himself. And at first, Eddie was gone for a couple days, then a couple weeks, and now he's been gone for a couple months, and Dylan's been kind of doing it all on his own with just like him and Sleeper, which is now like just like that little cat symbiote kind of dude that helps him out.
Okay.
So Eddie is trying to figure out what's going on, and he's like, well, I wonder if I can tap into these other symbiotes. If I can tap into them to pilot them anywhere in the galaxy, why can't I tap into them anywhere in time? And he basically uses his mind and taps into another symbiote in the future so he could try to see what's coming. And then he's blasted with these different images of Dylan, of Eddie running out after him, of this giant explosion. And he calls him and he says, hey, you need to get out of there. Like, I need you to run. At the same time, when he called him, there's an Eddie that's downstairs telling Dylan, hey, come on, let's go, let's leave. And it's clearly an imposter of some sort. So Dylan leaves and he's trying to find Eddie. And when he finds him, these guys in helicopters show up to try and take the Venom symbiote. So we don't know who they are, what they want with the Venom symbiote. But there's a giant explosion that happens, and it leaves Dylan wondering if his dad is even alive, which I think is the last panel that I sent you. So from that point, he bonds to the symbiote. Oh, that was the sneak peek at what I'm guessing is a new symbiote monster of some sort. These are all part of those flash forwards that he's seeing. So you're seeing the guys in the helicopter that are attacking, but we don't know who they are. We don't know what they want with the Venom symbiote. Dylan decides that he's got to help. He's got to try and find his dad after the explosion. He bonds to the symbiote. And then Eddie, at the end of his like journey in time, wakes up next to this dude who kind of has like this blue beetle like head scarab headpiece on. And it's really weird. It's like this is Al Ewing. Al Ewing writing, space fantasy stuff like this is always really good. So it was a fun book because you got a little bit of like the classic Venom stuff that you would have read in like Kate's, and then you get this Al Ewing space twist. So I'm interested to see where they go and how they manage that divide between having two Venoms and trying to follow both. I'm sure they'll spin it off into a second Venom book because that's Marvel and they just want to push it.
Well, yeah,
buy two Venom books.
I think they're like, sure, Todd McFarlane, you want to have like 4 Spawn books? We'll have 2 Venom books. Fuck you, Or it's very much so like the Batman and Batman Inc. type vibe, where it's like Batman Inc. is like global Batman, and then regular Batman was like just Dick.
Yep.
Back in the day, so. No, that's cool though.
So it was pretty interesting. I think that it'll be easier to tell like how I feel about the series. I think after the first arc, because it's just a weird thing. Because the Space Knight thing, like you said, it didn't work. So hopefully they don't go full Space Knight.
Yeah, Space Knight was not super great in my opinion. Yeah. So, but we'll see. All right, my next book. Harbinger 1 from our friends at Valiant. This follows Peter Stanchik, who is the Harbinger. He is basically losing his complete and utter mind. The art in this book is super fucking awesome. So at some point, Peter lost his mind and he doesn't remember who he is. but everybody else on the planet knows that he is the guy. He is the Harbinger, and he activates psiots, which are basically like mutants in the Valiant universe. And the only other person that was able to do that, the bad version of him, was Toya Harada, which I think they killed in the end of the last Harbinger War. But like this book is just very good. It's very good if you're into kind of like crisis of faith style, like personal understandings, like I don't know who I am type deals. And it really just did like I'm not a big Harbinger fan. Like it's not my super huge Valiant book that I always want to read, but it's very, very good. But I'm gonna show you some interior stuff. Let me find a good panel like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like the art is just super cool. I really dig it. It is.
I like the cover art.
Yeah, so Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing wrote it. Robbie Rodriguez did all the art. Rico Renzi colored it, and Hassan Osmade Alao did the cover or did the lettering. And that's a Robbie Rodriguez cover. So,
nice.
I love his art. I think it's great. So I definitely dig it. If you guys like Valiant stuff, Harbinger #1 is a good place to pick up because it does pick up and read like a brand new #1, and they do things in miniseries a lot now. It's definitely cool. You don't need to read a whole ton of backstory, and they do explain it a little bit. But it's definitely pretty cool. Like I was not expecting it to be that good because like I said, I'm not usually a big Harbinger fan, but it really kicked a lot of ass. So go check it out. All right. Let me just do one thing before we go to your next book. All right. Sorry, I also read that book last week in preparation for last week, so I didn't really remember everything that went on in the book. The next two books, though, I read today, so it'll be a little easier. So that's why my first two were really short, because I read them like last week, the week before. So, all right, go for it.
Black Widow. Okay, let me see if I can remember where. If we rewind a little bit, Black Widow's in San Francisco. She had a family. For the sake of their safety, she let them go into hiding. We've got a whole Black Widow team now. They have their own hub. I think it was called the Web. And they are trying to hunt down this evil organization in San Francisco that is powering up people on the streets with they don't really care that it could cause them harm, that they could die from it. So one of them, the one with the glowing arms, has teamed up with them. And this opens up with Black Widow and her team having breakfast, and they're kind of going over their plans of how they're going to do this, how this is going to go down. They have already tried a couple direct approaches, and this time they're going to try I'd say indirect, stealthy approaches. This time they're going to try and just go right out and be in the mix. So they're going to go to this gala dressed up as themselves, and see if they can just find some things out just by being in plain sight. So while this gala is going on, Black Widow and Bucky are talking and mingling and dancing. And in the background, you've got some of the other characters trying to find out what's going on. They see there's these auctions going on for animals. It wasn't what they expected. So Black Widow is able to break away with Yelena, and they come down the stairs to catch up with the rest of the team, and they find these weird kind of like Professor Pig style Court of Owls weirdos. They decide to beat their ass. Now they're the Court of Owls.
Please tell me they make that joke in the book.
Nope. I wish they did. I really wish they did.
That'd be awesome.
But so fight kind of breaks out. The book moved a little bit fast compared to some of the other issues. So I don't know if this is like getting ready to wrap up this arc or what, but this fight happens. The next panel, I think it's gorgeous. The whole fight scene, like this is every other issue. There's a spread like this that just shows the two of them fighting and kicking ass, and it's awesome. This is some amazing art. So they come to the end of the hallway and they find this character with a sword, and they don't know who he is, and it kind of just stops there. And it's like, I guess we're supposed to be really scared of this dude with the giant sword, and we don't know why. So my guess is new character, and they'll reveal some kind of backstory, that she knew him from her past or something. So
cool.
But
I really like the art in that book. Like it reminds me a lot of Dave Asia, the guy from Hawkeye.
Oh yeah,
It has that vibe to it. It's not the same coloring for sure, but
it's like simplistic but like detailed. You know what I mean? Like there's details in the line work, but like the colors are very simple.
Yeah, I don't like everyone's faces, but I like the body work. Like I think the faces look a little weird, but that's just me. But like everybody else looks right, but the masks look cool, and it reminds me of the tracksuit Russian guys. So kind of funny. All right, my next book is The Thing #1 by Walter Mosey, Tom Riley, and Jordi Belair. It's called the Next Big Thing Part 1. So this book starts off where this hooded guy kind of breaks into this dude's house and rips out his heart and kind of turns him into a crazy zombie guy. You don't really find out that until the end of the book. And then all of a sudden Ben's home from fishing, and he's got lobster and fish, and comes in the Baxter building, and then there's a Reed hologram, and he's like, "Hey Ben, we're actually in Russia talking to people about cosmic rays. We'll be back later. Johnny's at a rally in North Carolina. Have fun in the Baxter building all by yourself." So he's kind of sad about that. So he goes to meet Alicia. Alicia's walking there with a friend of hers. This is pre-wedding.
Okay, so this is before the wedding. So this is way back before.
I don't know if this is actually in continuity, to be honest with you. But so like the guy doesn't understand how Ben really is. He thinks he's attacking her, sprays him with mace. He accidentally throws a car. Cops arrest him because he did all that crazy shit. He ends up in a jail cell with Hercules. Some funny jokes ensue because it's Hercules. And so they eventually break out of this jail, and Reed rescues him, takes him home. And Alicia breaks up with him, which was really sad. And then this pixie thing shows up, and it's like, you're like, someone called and wanted you put you on the Elysium courtship dancers, like kind of like a OK Cupid type thing. So he tells him what's going on, and he's like, all right, cool, in the morning we'll have somebody for you, check your email. And overnight he has this crazy dream, and like all of their big villains are just like lying dead in the field, like even a Celestial. It was really awesome. The art in this book's really good. So anyway, he wakes up. He has one email from one match. So he goes to meet this match at Rockefeller Center. She's doing a show. And she, he's like, wow, like your eyes are beautiful. And the crazy zombie dude from the beginning busts through the wall with tires wrapped around his arms like gauntlets and is like, back off, she's mine. And that's where it ends in the first issue.
Oh wow.
So he's almost like a weird gladiator type character that would be against the Thing, which was very interesting. I really dug this book. I thought it was a lot of fun. It wasn't the best thing I've ever written or I've ever read, but it wasn't the worst for sure. So definitely check it out. I think that came out this week. So my other books I read came out like 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah, when I flipped through it, when we were checking in books, I didn't read it yet, but I thought the artwork was really fun.
Yeah, so. I mean, it's a fun read. It reminds me a lot of like the like, did you read that Multiple Man like offshoot like 6-part mini that Rosenberg did like 2 or 3 years ago? It kind of had like that kind of a vibe where it's like you can't really tell if it's like you can't really tell if it's canon or not because it's like it rides that line really closely.
Yeah.
So, but I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. So, all right. Oh, so I got to tell you something on this real quick before you start this book.
Yeah.
So I went to the warehouse the other day to dig through some stuff that Todd he literally just put it in there from Baltimore. And he's like, just do me a favor, go through here real quick. Just make sure I didn't miss it. Like, make sure there's nothing, like, there's no like $100 book in here. Right.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, cool. Well, most of them were definitely not that. And I ran, and this book's not that either, but I found a number 1 of this book in there.
Oh, really?
First print. And I was like, wow, somebody needs that on the search list. So
yeah.
I was like, boom, here we go. Search list.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was awkward because I was like, fuck, Tim reads this book all the time. So
this is the second to last issue, too.
Wow.
It's only 5 issues. Yeah.
The Pen Ultimate.
It's really getting into it now. So this, we saw the last issue kind of like ended. And she's like, what's up? Like, demon ghost, want to bang? And then it was like, end of issue. Now she's kind of like in a full-on relationship with this demon. And it's like this jealous boyfriend. If she wants to like just have some time alone, hey, like you should hang out with me instead. She wanted to go get groceries, and she's like, I just need some time to go out. I'm going to get some groceries. I'll be back and we'll spend some time together. And she comes downstairs bundled up, ready to go. And he's like, are you hungry? And there's just like food all over the table. And so he's kind of got like this weird stocky kind of thing going on. So the more that he's acting this way, the less. Wait, go back one. The less she wants to be around him. I was looking for the
banquet spread.
I don't know if I sent it or not, but
I don't think you did.
So that's she doesn't want to be around him because he's being so pushy towards things. So next day she's painting and she just kind of senses that he's coming in. Keep in mind, we've only ever seen like this long, like kind of like Slender Man, shadowy figure with like a blurred face of teeth and eyeballs and stuff. So she's like, you know what? Not today. I need to finish these paintings. And they get into a little bit of a fight. And she's like, I need you to just give me my space. And then he was kind of chilling. Boom. He just yells enough. And the whole house kind of goes dark. And then in the next panel, he's like, don't raise your voice in my house. And she's like freaking out right now. Stuff's floating around. It's completely dark. It's almost like it felt like they were kind of like Stranger Things when they go to the, what do they call it, the below or whatever.
The
It kind of felt
upside
like
down.
that. Yeah, the upside down. It kind of felt like that this was a space that existed in the same space as where she's from, but this is kind of like a shadow space, and he brought that to the foreground with his anger. Um, so the book continues. She's painting like crazy. She talks to her agent Addison, and he's like, do you have some paintings for me? And she blows him off, and he's starting to sense that something's wrong, and he shows up to the house. And he's like, it's dark in here, flicks the light on, and the monster, boom, hits the bricks to the shadows, and isn't very happy that this stranger is in the house, and he's constantly talking to Ro and saying, who is this guy? Why did you let him in my house? And she's like, you need to get out of here. Like, you need to go. And he finds the paintings. He's like, wow, you did all these paintings. Like, this is crazy. And she's like, you got to go now. Like, I can't leave. You have to go. And then this was one of my favorite parts because he called it the Lydia from Beetlejuiceness. And if you remember in the first issue, I said she had this Lydia from Beetlejuice kind of vibe. So I remember. I felt vindicated that he made that exact comment. But he's trying to help get her out of there, and she's just completely terrified now. After that, creature yelled enough. She was not the same. The relationship wasn't the same. And this guy's like, what are you scared of? Like, who's keeping you here? Let me help you. And then splash page at the end. So I won't
That's awesome.
say what it was, but I mean, look at that. That's like, yeah. It was, I think that it felt so dark because going into the first 3 issues, you're thinking, oh, it's a Scotty Young and it's supposed to be a horror book, but it didn't really feel like a horror book until you got to this issue.
Yeah. So, well, it's definitely been like, because you've done every single issue of this book. Yeah. So it's been very trending toward creepier and creepier and creepier. And
it's
and now I'm like,
that way.
Now I'm like, well, I mean, I might just buy it in trade because I kind of want to read it the whole way through.
Yeah.
Because like I read the first issue and I was like, this isn't like something that's been awesome for me, but
it doesn't move very quick. Like when you look at, if you look at like the first 3 issues, like you could have probably had those be one issue for how they move. But I feel like he did it that way for a reason, so that this 4th issue would have more of a bang, Yeah,
I thought the suspense build was very good. So
yeah.
All right,
fun book.
My next book is What's the Furthest Place from Here? Now this is a thick ass book by Tyler Boss and Matt Rosenberg
for $4.99, by the way.
Oh, and Hassan also lettered this one. So the guy that lettered Harbinger also lettered this book.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Can you show how thick that is?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if they can tell, but it's $4.99. It's like a double annual almost.
It's massive.
Yeah.
And it's broken apart into like 6 chapters, I think, in here.
Okay.
So there's some stuff going on that they don't quite explain yet, but there's some other stuff that's going on that's kind of neat. So it starts off with this dude in the bathroom and his teeth are falling out, and this pregnant young girl comes in and they're talking, and basically she's sick somehow, and he's just getting old, even though he's not. Like he's like becoming 18. Like old is like when you hit 18 for them. And they're like kind of in this record store, and like everybody in their, I guess it's kind of like a dystopian tribe that lives in a record store. This kind of tribe for them, the pregnant girl is like, I found my meaning, which is like the record that she associates with, and it's Hall & Oates' Private Eyes. So there's like a whole like probably 5-6 panels of them being like, what did you like about this? And well, the guys look kind of cool. No, like these guys don't look cool at all. Like, what are you talking about? Like, and then it gets into the part where it's actually a dystopian universe. So the guy that I think impregnated her, like her ex-boyfriend, who's now old, falls into the door when they open it. They kind of harbor him, and they go outside kind of hunting to see what's going on and why they ended up there. There's these things called the Strangers that look like two slender women that walk around. And then there's these like pig mask face wearing other gang that's
I saw
like,
that.
yeah, they're like, you're not supposed to be on our side of town and blah, blah, blah. So they
I
have
was
this
like,
cool...
it just broke into like Killjoys or like Umbrella Academy like halfway through the book or something.
Yeah. So it's or like West Side Story even.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the Sharks and the Jets go into town. And eventually like things get crazy. And I'm really trying not to give away too much of the book.
Yeah.
And they eventually like they have like a funeral for the guy who died, and they burn his record, and it was a Husker Du record, which I thought was kind of cool. Because a lot of people don't know who Husker Du is. And then they have like a wake for him, and the guy, when they took him in and he was like dying, he was telling the girl about a place that's perfect, that had everything, that was like this mecca, right? Like, and
like the furthest place from here.
Right. So he drew her a map before he died. So she takes the dude on the roof's shift as watch. He comes down and gets super wasted, passed out on the floor. Somebody draws a cock and balls on his face, which I thought was also hilarious. They go up to check on her because she's pregnant, and she's not there. They just find a bloody knife broken in half. You know, and then I read some of the backer liner notes, and I think the reason why I really liked this book a lot was Matt Rosenberg talks about some of the first records you listen to when you're a kid, or you get when you're young, really kind of set your tone for who you will be later in life, right? So like the records I fell in love with were like Kiss Alive 3, the Ramones Mania, Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin 2, like all these records that like if you are a fan of similar music to me, you're going to kind of have the similar personality. And I've noticed that a lot with certain people. Like if you're a Bad Religion fan, just because I went to see them the other night, I was like, man, I know a lot of people here because we're very similar people, right? And Alkaline Trio opened, and I was like, you know, like, wow, I know a lot of people that like Alkaline Trio, even though I don't, but I know why they like them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was very cool, and it's almost like a parallel to comics. Like your first comics you buy tend to be things that you sort of continue in your life, right? Like I first read my very first Avengers book was like the B Team Avengers. So it was like She-Hulk, Crystal, Black Knight, Cersei, Hercules, White Vision, Black Widow, I think. So it's like it's like the same type of thing where like I like B team books more than I like A team books. That's why I don't like SpiderMan that much, but I like Ben Reilly and I like 2099 Spider-Man, but I don't like the A team type guys. Was this your first record, or are you just playing it because it's on Private Eyes?
Yep. And it's Maneater. Watching it rain. Let's just do a party with YouTube where we just listen to that whole album.
Oh, Dan Hanna just said that he and I have listened to a lot of the same Origin records. That is probably why we get along so well, Dan. I can see that already. So, but yeah, like it's definitely one of those things where, you know, it's similar. Like that. Then you get like the Marvel guys and the DC guys are very similar to like, I'm a punk guy versus a metal guy, or I'm a pop guy versus whatever, like, or country versus rock, I guess. And then like,
what was your first cassette?
Mine?
Yeah, because everybody's talking about their first cassette. Carl's was Bon Jovi. He's a huge Bon Jovi fan, he said.
Okay.
And then Ron's is Barry Manilow.
That's awesome. Oh man, I think my first cassette, the first cassette I owned that was given to me, I think was Van Halen 1984. Okay. It was either that or the Top Gun soundtrack, one of the two. The first record that first album I remember purchasing that I went out and found was, oh man, it was probably Ramones All the Stuff in War Volume 1.
Okay.
It was the first. It was either that or ABBA Gold.
You ready for mine?
Yeah, go for it.
Mine was Thriller, but it wasn't the full cassette because it was my aunt's, and my brother and I took her cassette player and we put that cassette in and we recorded ourselves peeing together, crossing streams. So when she would listen to it, that's what she would hear. And then we got in trouble and we had to save up and buy her a new cassette. And we had to keep that one. Nice. So my first cassette was me and my brother peeing over top of Michael Jackson.
Nice. I remember the first CD I bought when
we
I
probably
bought a
weren't
CD
the first
player.
People.
Right? The first CD I bought, and I still have it, was the Green Jelly Serial Killer album.
I had I think it was just the single CD that they did for Three Little Pigs.
Oh, just the single? The actual. Okay.
It was just a single on a CD, yeah.
Yeah. And then shortly thereafter, I bought Kiss Asylum on CD because it was sitting in this old record store we had for a long time. But before that, I had dubbed a whole ton of crap from my buddy's older brother because he was like 3 or 4 years older than us, and like Kiss Alive 3 had just come out, so we were like, holy crap, this is awesome. And then we got Revenge, and we got into like Ramones Mania and like all like the first 4 Black Sabbath records, which I think Master of Reality is probably my favorite one because it has Children of the Grave, which is my favorite Black Sabbath tune. But it's crazy, man. Like, you know, and then I got like that paved way for like Iron Maiden and Dream Theater and all this other stuff later in college. So like, I would imagine yours would have been like, I imagine yours would have been more like Green Day Dookie.
I think Green Day was my first CD that I ever bought.
Oh, okay.
But my first real cassette that I ever bought was MC Hammer. I
had that too.
That I bought not because I peed on something or recorded myself peeing, but that was my first one. And then my dad took it off of us because at the time he didn't like it. It was very, nice. I mean, we were like, you know, country kids going to Catholic school. That was a little too different for him. But
I know that feeling.
While we're on the subject of it, I would just like to point out, in case anybody's listening and they were about to say this as one of their favorite bands. Steely Dan is awful, and they're the devil, and I hope nobody likes them because they're terrible. All right, I said it. We can move on.
They're not terrible. They have like a couple good songs. Anyways,
so now we can
your final book,
Spider-Man. Oh, I did the Columbia House. Damn it! I shouldn't have looked down and saw Carl did the Columbia House. I know.
I did that too, and that's why I was like, technically, I didn't buy any of those, so we'll see. But
yeah, because I just let it go to like my credit report, and then I was like, oh, I'm not 18. Guess you can't legally bill me.
Right.
So at the end of the last issue, Morbius shows up and bites Ben Reilly. This issue starts with that. Ben Reilly, as we've seen, his suit's a little more sophisticated than Peter Parker's, so it protects him a little bit from the bite, but not all the way. He ends up unconscious and goes back to Beyond. He's taken back to Beyond headquarters, and they're going to give him an antidote to help him out. Not before Morbius shows up at Beyond, and their security system goes off and cuts off Morbius's like shoulder, and part of his chest. There's even a scene where the guy cleaning up, one of the cleanup crew guys, goes, "Oh man, I think there's a nipple over here," and he's like, "Bag it." He goes, "I hate you."
Gross.
But the story was a little slow moving because it was basically like, he gets bit, he goes back to Beyond. The lady that's running Beyond is considering not giving him the antidote because she's like, oh, maybe he'll have like vampire/spider powers. And they're like, well, that would be unethical. And she goes, oh, yeah, no, give it to him. And it was really hard for me to get into this issue because Sarah Pichelli's art felt very rushed in this issue. And that's one of the things that was the downside, if I remember way back when they did Brand New Day, going to all these stories and doing 3 Spider-Man books a month, was that some of the artwork at times was like, it was a little cringy. And normally her artwork is fantastic, so I'm just going to assume that Marvel was really rushing her on this. But other than that, I mean, the story is really fun. Kelly Thompson this is the second issue in her arc. She continues to be just amazing at everything that she writes. And this Spider-Man stuff has been, I'm excited to read Spider-Man again. I'm excited that, Nick Spencer's gone and that I'm 4 issues in on a new Spider-Man run, and it's really fun so far. So hopefully it continues.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm really excited to pick up on that because I think 2 issues. I haven't read the new stuff yet, and I'm very excited to check it out because I do love Ben Reilly super much. So, all right. So, in other nerd news, one thing that sucks is Dean Stockwell passing away. When I heard the news, all I thought was, who's going to ask Ziggy for help now?
Yeah.
But it does suck. He was part of my childhood on Quantum Leap, man. Al was, he was awesome. Like he's probably the reason why, like, sometimes when I get angry, I like smack my phone and I'm like, do the thing I need you to do.
Did you have a favorite episode that sticks out?
I actually, you know what? The 2-parter where him and Sam switch places was actually really kind of fun for me.
You're talking about his brother?
No, Sam Beckett, like the main guy that was actually leaping.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. When Al and Sam switch, yes.
Yeah, Al and Sam switch in it, and I really enjoyed that 2-parter. And there was one, and I think the pilot was also really good for me.
There was a 2-parter where Sam leaps into I think it's his brother's body in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
And that was always like a really good episode, because I think that's how his brother died. He died in Vietnam. So now he's like,
how do I
this chance
do
to
this
save his brother's life, or so yeah.
Oh yeah, that show was just so freaking good, so good.
Yeah.
But rest in peace, sir. You will be missed.
Yep.
Okay, so there were three series finales this week. So on CW we had Stargirl, and then we also had the series finale of Supergirl, and then on HBO we had the season finale of Doom Patrol that kicked today.
Which Supergirl was at 7 or 6 seasons?
I believe it was 6.
Yeah.
I watched it today. I watched the last 2 episodes today. I will tell you, I have not watched anything of this season at all.
Yeah.
But I wanted to see it. And I thought they wrapped it up well. I thought they wrapped it up better than Arrow's was.
Well, 6 seasons is not bad considering the way that first season went when it was on NBC, because it was atrocious. And then
CBS, I think,
or CBS, and then when it switched over to CW, like that second season was just like fire. Was so good.
I actually like to see it the CBS season quite a bit. I thought they did a really good job at exposition, but I think the first CW season was absolutely fire. Even the second season was very good, and then they started adding a lot more people into the show that I was like, oh, come on. But it was cool. Like Mon-El came back for this. They brought Windshot back. And
what about Cat Grant? Did she come back?
Yeah.
Nice.
She mixed back for the finale.
Nice.
It was actually a very well placed and very well done. Oh, they brought Jimmy Olsen back.
Cool.
He hasn't been on for a while. I later found out that Melissa Benoist is actually married to the guy who plays Mon-El.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. They have a kid, I guess.
That was after her brief stint in other things.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Adult things. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That was a big thing when it was on CBS, was like that. I think that was, I don't want to say that was one of the things that like hurt made it get canceled, but it was like it was buzz at the time. It was like, oh, they got the girl that's going to play Supergirl, used to do porn. So yeah.
Weird. Huh.
Yeah.
Mental note, check out for that later. Anyway, well, I know she was part of that one leak that came out, but if that's what that was. But I didn't know she did any professional things. But hey, man, more power to the sex worker. Go for it. So Stargirls was excellent as well. Like they defeat Eclipso. Starman shows up and is going to be part of the next season. We have a Green Lantern, which is awesome because we have Jade.
Oh, do we?
Yeah.
Nice.
Solomon Grundy gets his ass beat.
Nice. Is the Solomon Grundy that they did in Stargirl, is that better than the one that they did on Gotham? Because I hated the one on Gotham.
Yeah, he's very much, and better than the one they did on Arrow. He's like very much so like a big ogre dude.
Yeah.
It's very cool. I really enjoyed it. The Shade is on there. Like they brought in, they fleshed out this cast a lot. Is it Johnny Thunder who used to have the magic pen with the genie in it? Like that is that the guy, Johnny Thunder, right? It
doesn't sound familiar to me.
He was an old JSA member.
Okay.
But they did it very, very good. They did Eclipso very well too, in my opinion. I just thought they did this whole season was very well done. And then Doom Patrol was also very well done. It was a lot. You can definitely tell all these seasons were shot in a more COVID bubble, though, because there were like less. It was a lot more like focused on the actual main cast stuff versus like a lot of extras in a lot of shots. Which is fine. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. So, there's that.
I put a link down in the comments for anybody that wanted to see. I don't know if you have to copy it or not. I thought that there was a way to put it in in a discussion section. I'll have to look later and see. But it's the link for the Hit Monkey trailer.
Oh,
because that's out.
I didn't see that at all.
Yeah, it looks pretty fun.
Also, the final Jodie Whittaker season of Doctor Who has started. If you guys haven't watched that, I found it very good. It's a 6-part series, and it's already 2 down.
Yep.
And all right, so at this point, we're gonna give you the see Johnny Thunder bitchin'. We're gonna give you the usual spoiler alert. We're gonna talk about Eternals. Yep. So if you haven't seen it, you should, because it's really freaking good.
It's way better. Don't buy into the review bombing by the critics. Yeah.
If you can even read them, because people are reporting them for breaking some kind of rules.
Oh, good.
Even though I still don't understand how that works. I think they're doing it because of the whole 3-second dude on dude kiss.
Well, that
and the diversity in the cast or whatever.
Yeah, that a lot of people were upset at the director herself because they're like, you sold out for Disney money. So people that were fans of her stuff before this were basically negatively reviewing the movie just because they were mad that she's doing something more mainstream. I'm like,
wow,
whatever. Go watch the movie.
Crazy.
It's more different than any other Marvel movie you've probably ever watched.
Yep.
So.
I did get to see the full Morbius trailer in front of it, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And the Clifford the Big Red Dog trailer was in front of it for me.
I'm not sold on Morbius, but I think it has potential to be better than Venom.
That's exactly what I said. I was like,
yeah,
it still doesn't look great, but it looks better than both Venom movies did.
Yes. So, yeah. And if I pay to see Venom, I might as well pay to see that.
Right. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. I like Jared Leto as an actor, though, so it'll be fun for me. All right, let's talk about Eternals. So I gave it a 6 out of 10. It probably should be a 6.5 out of 10. I'll be honest, most of my problems with it were the fact that it was a lot of backstory changing that they did, like Olympia really wasn't a place, that they were basically cyborgs.
Yeah.
They didn't show them resurrecting, and they kind of cut the cast of the main Eternals that we normally see in a book down. Overall,
give a little
backstory
for people too. In the comic books, the Celestials create, in an attempt to create the perfect person, they create the deviants, and then they create humans, and then on the third try, Eternals. In the original comic books. So, and they kind of, it's a little different in this.
Because they don't talk about them creating humans, but they talk about them doing the other two.
Yeah, and then so we did say spoilers, so hopefully everybody that didn't want to hear spoilers has left. But the fact that they made them robots, essentially, I didn't like that part.
Me too. That was my biggest pet peeve, I'll be honest.
And I gave the film a lot of leeway because I don't have a lot of ties to Eternals. I don't have any feelings one way or the other about the comic books, even though the artwork is fantastic. So I was like, do your thing, do what you want to do. I'm not going to be as mad as, say, if they screwed up Venom or X-Men. So but that still bothered me a lot.
So
that
to
they
kind
did
of
that.
answer Dan's question of is it Kirby-esque, I thought they did the best with it that they could, because the actual Kirby stuff is like really hard to follow and convoluted. Carl thinks it should have been a Disney Plus series. I don't believe so. I thought it fit for what was going on in the time frame. I thought it moved quickly. There was just a lot of stuff in there.
I think that's why he's probably saying it should have been because, I mean, and while they did okay with balancing 10 characters, if it had been a Disney Plus series, then maybe they build those up a little differently, and it doesn't feel like they're just like boom, jumping to each one. So I can see both ways, but I think that maybe that's where he's coming from, is to give a little bit more love to each of those characters.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't think it needed to be. I think that it okay. This is gonna sound terrible. If you can go to fucking watch Dune and not understand any of the backstory of Dune and enjoy it, you will go to this movie and do the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, there are books that you can read that'll make this movie make a hell of a lot more sense.
For sure.
Nobody's going to do that. They're just going to go watch it.
Yeah.
So
I think, first of all, Makari had probably the coolest scene in the whole movie. I know I'm jumping, but when she has her scene where she beats Icarus's ass,
yeah,
I was like, that's amazing. That's just yeah. So Ron said Stacy had to made him mute.
I saw spoilers. That was pretty funny.
But I mean, it was very well shot. I thought that the scenes and the locations and things like that, I thought were really gorgeous and had a different feel than a lot of other Marvel movies that some of the other ones have had. I liked Icarus at first. I think it's interesting that you can have characters who are basically perfect and have lived together for 7,000 years and are still learning things about themselves. I thought that was a cool concept. And I would also like to point out that I don't think this is kind of like a DC bash. I don't think DC could take a character like Cersei, whose powers is basically like, I changed rock into water, and make her be the big hero of the film. And the fact that they were able to do that, I think, shows some really good writing and creativity to do that. I did giggle for about 5 minutes when what was the Celestial's name? Tiamat.
Oh, Tiamat.
Tiamat. When he was emerging,
which I thought was funny because like all I thought it was D&D. So
when he was emerging, I was just like, the first thing they show is like there's a finger coming up, and I'm like, it's a golden wiener. That's the first thing I thought. And like I looked over at Carl, and like then I'm giggling, and I'm just like, I'm not going to talk about this in the theater. Like, I'll tell you later. But that was the whole time I was like, that's all I thought. So, because I'm five. So,
right.
Anyways,
I also loved, and this kind of goes back to my first Avengers book that I ever bought. This movie had a big tie to the first Avengers book I ever bought. Right.
Okay.
So, firstly, you have the Black Knight and Cersei's relationship actually on screen, which was cool. Then in the last cutscene, when he opens the box and the ebony blade is in there, and they even mentioned the ebony blade earlier in the movie, which was also cool.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so both cutscenes, I literally at some point stood up in the theater and went, "Fuck yeah!" at the IMAX theater.
Yeah.
While there's like 70 other people in the building or in the room with me. My friends are like, "Sit the fuck down." But when he did the ebony blade thing, like my whole like my whole comic book reading life just exploded into fulfillment, because I'm like, now the one thing that I bought, the very first book I bought, is the backstory of the Ebon Blade. It's the Avengers Annual that has Blood Race story in it.
Oh, okay.
And Scott McDaniel did the cover art, and it's the terrible B Team Avengers with Cersei and Black Knight and Black Widow and Hercules and everybody. It was awesome, and I was just like, holy crap. It was very good for me to do that. And during the middle one, as soon as Pip the Troll pounced out, I was like, fuck yeah.
But I thought that was really cool when he came out. I thought that was some of the worst CG I had seen from Marvel in a long time. I didn't think that he looked very good. So
I didn't think he looked good when he rolled out, but when he was standing there, I thought he looked fine.
Yeah, it was just like, I guess it was just not what we're used to seeing from Marvel, but I don't know how long ago they shot that film. I don't know how long that was in the works, so I don't want to judge too harshly, and it was Patton Oswalt, right?
Yep.
As Pip the Troll. It's like, this guy is just like, I'm going to be in everything Marvel.
Right.
He's MODOK. He was those twin brothers in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's in this.
Right.
So
yeah, he's got his hand in there.
Now, how cool! I thought this was a really cool moment when Cersei's standing there with Dane, and the clouds get real dark at the end. And this is a planet that has seen invasions and gods, and all kinds of stuff, and the clouds just part, and boom, this giant celestial head for everyone on Earth to see. And I was just like, I just had chills when I saw it. I was like, that's an awesome moment, like, just to see that.
Yep. I definitely thought it was really good. I liked the twists. I liked, I pretty much, like I said, the only thing I really didn't like was the backstory thing.
Well, I wasn't a big fan of the deviants in the end, and the reason why is because I like the twist with Crow, that when he killed them, he would kind of take their powers in.
Yeah.
But it was always like, it was building up to this thing that there was never really a payoff for Crow and for the deviants. That kind of like, he shows up at that fight, but it kind of fizzles out because obviously the celestial, cracking, the earth in half is the big thing. But I just felt like, for them to be such a huge part of 90% of the movie, and then to amount to absolutely nothing at the end, felt like I just felt like they were wasted a little bit.
Well, they were like the biggest red herring we've seen, like, outside of the Mandarin and Iron Man 3, right?
Yeah.
So at least they kind of got a little more justice. Oh, I mean, once people get explained that Thanos is a deviant, like, it'll be a lot better, but we're probably not going to see that until like the next couple movies.
And Druid was a what?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Oh, I'm moving on from Eternals. But
okay.
What were you going to say?
What were we just talking about? Thanos trying to remember,
being a deviant, because they're technically all Eternals now, not Titans.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what I was going to say, but I can't remember, so it probably wasn't super important.
All right, well, go see Eternals. It was good. Don't listen to the fucking.
No, I think I'm going to go see it again. That's how good I think it was. It wasn't a perfect movie, but I think it's definitely something that I don't mind paying to see twice.
Did you see the Death Star and the hieroglyphs?
No.
Yeah, I think it's at the end when they like start lighting up. There's a Death Star in one of the hiding.
That's not the first. I mean, there was also the coloring book that was Star Wars, and then they obviously mentioned Superman and Alfred and things like that in the movie, which is
I thought that was great.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are 5 people that have commented tonight. So I've written all of your names down. I have numbered them 1 through 5, 6 through 10, so on and so forth, so that I can spin this D20, right? And somebody is going to win a $50 NDC gift card tonight because we suck and we forgot to do. We couldn't do like 3 shows.
That's awesome.
And I'm just gonna do this, and somebody's gonna win it, and I'll have it at whatever store they need it to be at by this time next week to pick up. All right.
Was my reaction natural? Like I didn't know about this beforehand?
What? It's close. It's close. What? And the winner is Dan Hanna.
Congratulations, Dan.
Yeah, buddy. You're getting a $50 gift card on the Toddcast. And I will have that for you next week. So
he's going to be excited because he's working on a new 50 for 50. So
hell yeah.
Yep.
So cool. Other than that, I mean, I guess we can let Ron know. Ron, you can listen again.
We had 8 people watching tonight. So for being off for 2 weeks and having 8 people watching it live, I really appreciate everybody. And let your friends know because we're getting close to that 100. So
and then we're gonna do a $100 one.
Yeah, and Christmas is coming up, so who couldn't use a $100 gift certificate to our store?
Tell your friends, tell your countrymen. Yeah. But other than that, I went to Akron Comic-Con, and I bought a First Lady Liberators there. It was a really good show. You guys should check it out if you're in the area. And then other than that, one of the reasons why we didn't do a show, some of you guys know this, is one of my dogs had passed away. My Maddie, who you guys had seen on the show a couple times. But I need to move this. I need to show you. My wife and I decided we were going to get another puppy. So this is Marshall.
Oh.
And yes, his paws are fucking enormous. He is a Frenchton, which means his dad was a Frenchie and his mom was a Boston Terrier, and he's almost all white. And she calls him Marshmallow because his back is like semi, like almost, it almost looks like he's toasted a little bit, like a toasted marshmallow.
Yeah.
So but he's an awesome dude. I hung out with him all day today, and he's got some sharp fucking teeth, but he likes to bite fingers. But so it'll be a while before I bring him around people in public.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Sorry about your puppers.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you everyone for all the kind words. I know a lot of you guys saw that we posted about Maddie. He was 14 and he lived a really good life, and it was going to be that time sooner than later anyway, because he's a Boston. He was not even supposed to live past 13. Lola over here laying on the ground is 15, and she's spry as hell though. So
yeah.
She's not taken to her new brother very well either. So but all right, cool. Well, thanks for coming out, guys. Remember, hit the like, share, the bell, the little flag thing, maybe. Make sure you make a comment. And if you guys have any questions, hit us up on social media, and we will do our best to answer them, or see us in the store, whatever. Or if you have a guest that you want to have somebody or have us interview, which, by the way, I do have a couple people lined up that I want to talk to Tim about off air. But just have them, just hit us up at NDC Toddcast on social media, or ndctoddcast@gmail.com for an email, and I will answer that. So, all right. Have a great night, guys.